everybody, we're talking games, and I'm here with Casper.
Hello.
And I'm Thomas. And we're gonna play some games with you, and we're gonna discuss games in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This, I guess, special episode.
Yeah.
We're together for once.
Yeah, we have sort of the Easter edition here. Eat some candy, and it's Easter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, first segment.
Yeah. So I'm going to do a pickup this time.
Cool.
And I have actually picked up a 3DS game.
So what is that?
It's called Ever Oasis.
Okay.
And it's a kind of RPG game. I haven't played it yet, but I've seen trailers for it.
It feels obvious, kind of obvious
Yeah,
when you have
it's still in
the plastic cover.
But it's supposedly like a kind of action RPG,
Okay.
like you see like from the top.
Cool.
And it plays a little bit like the Zelda games, but then you also have an extra like sim kind of part where you grow your oasis. So you get merchants there, and then you can take them on missions and like gather resources for them to expand their shops.
So is it similar to games like Stardew Valley or Animal Crossing or
I think the sim part is toned down. In this
Okay.
one, it's more
action oriented.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So I haven't tried it yet, but I think the merchants are more for like getting new gear, and also you can take the merchants with you as like extra firepower.
Okay. Can I just check it out? So,
It's got very good reviews, and I saw it because I liked the game Fantasy Life for 3DS, and they said people who like that game would like this game.
Yeah.
So
I'm very much drawn to like games with theme central around deserts and stuff. So I suppose this will fall right in my lap if I ever play it.
Yeah, it's actually a kind of like it's made quite recently, I think.
Okay.
So
I haven't heard of it.
I think that's why. So it's like I guess the 3DS is in its last breath now.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Or I'm guessing since the Switch is here.
Yeah. I think Nintendo said that they're continuing development for the 3DS and the 2DS and such, but I think we'll probably see a gradual sort of shift towards Switch games and probably more double platform games that are both on the 3DS and on the Switch as well.
Yeah, possibly. But I'm thinking like this might be one of the like last games for the last hooray for the console.
Last hooray for 3DS.
And I think this is 3DS exclusive.
Okay,
actually.
cool.
So yeah, definitely.
So you need to tell me all about it when you've played it.
Yeah, definitely.
And you guys should check out the gameplay. We'll display somewhere around here.
Yeah, because we'll have to do a new overlay. We're in the same image.
Yeah.
So do you have a highlight or a pickup?
Well, I haven't picked up any games since last we talked. When I had picked up quite a few actually. So I'm sort of on a hiatus right now. But I have been playing games all the more. And well, I've been playing a lot of older games, but I've also been playing a lot of games that are kind of old, but not very old. So I've been playing a lot of Wii games lately, actually.
Okay.
And one of the games that I play with my boys is called Donkey Kong Country Returns, and I think it's the only Donkey Kong like main story Donkey Kong game on the Wii. And it's actually very much like the early Donkey Kong Country's games on the SNES. It's a classic platformer where you have all the classic rules of platforming gaming, and you have the ability to play one player or two player, and you play as Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. So it's sort of similar ground to the old games.
Do you play at the same time, or is it like the old games that you do the high five and then you switch out?
Exactly. You can do the tag, but you can also play at the same time if you have two players.
Okay.
So the game plays slightly different when you play two players, and it plays slightly different when you play single player. But you can still have like both monkeys available to play as. And I don't remember how it was in Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, but when you pick up Diddy Kong from a barrel, you get the double damage, so you can take more hits. I think when you're just Donkey Kong, you can take 2 hits, but when you have Diddy Kong with you, you can take 4 hits, and you have sort of a double jump thing that you can use. And this is a great game. This is an awesome game. I would probably say, and I'll probably get some angry comments about this, but this is probably the best platforming game on the Wii. This is a fantastic game. Very nice setting, very cool level design, very good music, very good sort of pacing, and also a very good variety of kind of gameplay and levels. So when you think you know, have seen it all, they kind of switch it up and make it different. So it's great. I love it.
Okay. Do you think it's better than the new Super Mario Brothers? Because I love that game for Wii.
That's
especially if you're like 4 players
Yeah,
and you got all that chaos by.
It's hard to actually compare because it's kind of different. I mean, they're both classic platforming games, but Donkey Kong Country Returns sort of hits you in a different spot. I love the new Super Mario games as well. And I also really like the Kirby games on the Wii. But this game, well, there's just so much to love about it. So, very cool game.
Okay, I'll have to
try it. I encourage everybody of you to check it out.
And that's not the same. That's on 3DS, right?
I'm not sure.
But that's called something like Frozen.
Yeah.
What's that called now?
Arctic something.
Yeah.
Blah, blah.
Yeah, I actually have that game.
You do?
Yeah, but I haven't tried it yet.
But it's not the same game.
Okay.
No, it's not. But I imagine this is sort of. I think the game we're talking about is sort of a sequel to this game.
Yeah, and maybe that one came to the Wii U actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it might be that one I'm thinking about.
Yes, indeed.
Tropical Freeze.
Tropical Freeze, yes, indeed. So, what have you been playing?
This time I've been playing a lot Diablo 3 actually on the PC. They have like something called seasons, which you start with a brand new character, and then you do, I guess as normal, you start grinding gear and you play on a higher difficulties, and then you have some, I guess, kind of achievements that you want to do, like maybe finish a certain level in a certain time, kill a boss on a certain difficulty, and then when you do that, you get like in-game rewards, and that might be like you get a new follower, like a new skin for the followers. You might get some wings for the character. That's all, like cosmetic stuff mostly. But you kind of want to collect those cosmetic stuff every season. So you want to do like that, like at least the achievements that get you those stuff. So I always do them for each season. So I start a new character and then I go through, and you can do that in about 4 or 5 hours. So it's not that long.
Not that big of a deal.
Yeah. And then I've also played a lot of Blaster Master Zero.
Yeah, you told me. And I actually played last summer. I played this game on my 3DS. So we both know this game.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So far, I think it's really great. It's a bit on the easy side.
Yeah.
Especially,
it's terribly difficult.
Yeah. But it's a good game. Like especially if, like, you start wondering how does it look on an NES.
Yeah.
in the beginning,
Yeah.
like because it's quite impressive.
Yeah, and this game topped quite high on my top 10 list of NES games of all time. So I think I placed this game, I mean, not this game, but the original on the NES. I think I placed it on number 4 or 3 of my all-time favorite NES games.
Okay.
So I really, really like this game, the original, and I think in many ways this is an improvement. So I really like this game.
I guess they have some quality of life improvements, and the graphics looks good, and the music is great.
Yeah, they've also tweaked quite a lot of the level design to make it more interesting. There's a lot of like bland or empty areas in the original. So.
And there were new bosses.
Yeah.
Or I guess the new. I'm guessing now, but I'm guessing the new bosses are when like they have the same enemy coming in, like in waves. Or were they in the original game? Have they like, or are the big bosses new?
Yeah, that part I actually don't quite remember since I played it last summer. But I seem to remember that like the big bosses, the huge bosses, are pretty much the same, or at least inspired by the same designs and such. But they're quite different. And in many ways, the gameplay is quite different from the original. I mean, it's the same concept, it's the same sort of basic idea.
And the story is the same.
Yeah,
also.
The story is the same. But I think there's a regional difference as well. The story of the original from Japan is more like this game. But in the American and European version, they kind of sort of made it simpler. I don't know. But in essence, it's about a guy who found this frog and he's keeping him as a pet. And then he sort of drops down a hole and he follows this frog down a hole and he discovers this sort of tank vehicle thingy.
Yeah, okay, yeah, Sophie or what is
Sophia the Third, I think it's called. But yeah, what do you think? So how do you think about like moving a vehicle instead of a character in the platform game?
I think it works very well, actually.
Yeah.
It's why you get the hang of it, and I guess also compared to the NES version, you have like you can lock the cannon in a certain in a certain position, and then that's really nice. And that I guess that could be troublesome on the NES.
Yeah.
Like aiming.
You can still aim upwards and diagonally, but you can't lock diagonally, if I remember right.
So that makes the game a lot easier, and makes it.
But I mean, this vehicle is so much fun when you have unlocked most of the abilities. And you can hover, you can go underwater, and you can climb on walls, and it's incredibly fun. And if you guys haven't checked out, there's a game that you can play online called Super Mario Crossover. You can play the Super Mario levels as this vehicle from Blaster Master. It's really cool. Okay, so right off the bat here, you can really see sort of similarities between Contra on the first level.
Yeah, the jungle stage.
The jungle stage.
And the machine gun is the first weapon.
Yeah, and there's... I mean, it's pretty obvious in most senses. Like the kind of weapons you have, the kind of environment, the kind of enemies.
Yeah, and even the way they like walk in the water.
Yeah. and they also somersault for some reason when they jump.
Yeah.
No.
They still shoot in a straight line.
Yeah. But I mean, there's this cool possibility to customize the look of your character. You can sort of mess with the color scheme of the character, the sprite.
Yeah, and I would say that's both good and bad.
Okay, so
we'll
tell me.
I guess we'll get to that later.
Yeah. Since
I picked blue.
Some of the stages might have the same color as your character, and it will become quite unclear where you are in the stage. But I mean, this is an indie game.
Yeah, so you can't expect as much.
Yeah, and obviously they have a big love and passion for the original game in this series.
I hate those floor cannons.
Yeah.
Like getting the timing to those. And then we have the overpowered S weapon.
Yeah, the spread shot.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
I mean, there seems to be quite a big emphasis on enemies trying to like sneak up on you from behind.
Yeah.
I don't seem to remember that in Contra.
No, there's a lot more of them here. Definitely. So here I'm actually covering you.
Yeah.
Because those were the real threat mostly.
Yeah, like the basic enemies just moving in during the boss fight. That seems a bit of an excessive way to ramp up the difficulty. But it's a very classic like 80s boss with an eye and something like pulsating purple organs and stuff. There's this nose thingy on top as well.
And the lab here kind of reminds you of the first boss
Yeah,
of Contra, like
indeed.
sloping kind of structure.
But it also kind of reminds me in Super Contra on the SNES, where you have like this turtle alien coming out of the wall.
Oh yeah.
So second,
here's the blue level.
Yeah, second level, very much homage to the like mutant laboratory levels of the games of the 80s and 90s.
I don't really like the backgrounds here. I
No.
think they're too noisy.
And there's not enough separation between foreground and background actually.
Yeah, and I also don't like those like I guess they're going to like kind of like glossy kind of look on the platforms, and I don't like that they
shiny.
I hate that 3D kind of look also, because that makes you wonder like, okay, can I move out to the edge?
where's the edge exactly? And you just
design
fell
also,
down.
yeah. I don't like that design either.
But I mean,
Why make
it
a gap
was,
there?
but it's actually kind of authentic, because that was the way it was in games back then. I mean, if you look at games like Ninja Gaiden, you have these sort of stages as well, where you're on a 2D plane, but the tile sets or stuff like the levels are on some sort of quasi 3D angle.
Yeah.
So it's almost isometric, and it becomes really strange. Here you have like this huge enemy that takes up a lot of hits, and you were trying to jump across it.
It goes well.
Oh, but I mean, it's okay that you have a few lives, since you have unlimited continues, so you can always like just push on until you finish a level.
Yeah, you can kind of learn it as you go. There's also, I guess, a weapon if you would recognize the laser. It's a bit different here, since you can actually fire a new beam before the other one, the first one disappears.
Yeah. But I mean, I really didn't like the laser weapon in Contra.
I liked it because it gave kind of a new dimension, because if you like rapid fire it close up, you can get so high of damage output. And you can almost like nothing short range could really penetrate the laser beam.
For short range, it was pretty good.
So you could take the bosses and like just walk up to them, and then if you got close, you could instantly kill them almost. But here the laser is actually not that powerful, I feel, because like the beam doesn't even travel through
the enemies.
Yeah. I think it's because the
that's
laser...
kind of strange actually, because you figure that would be how laser work in most games.
Yeah.
That you can penetrate the first enemy and then kind of hit the enemy behind as well.
I don't know if you noticed, but you saw I died like a lot at the same spot there.
Yeah.
That's because in Contra, you kind of fall down from your lives, I think.
Yeah.
Or you fall down from the top.
Yeah.
So you can actually like see the character reappear.
Yeah.
Here you just reappear somewhere,
Yeah.
sometimes behind the other player.
Yeah, and
and then you instantly die again.
Yeah,
Th-
and
that, I
the
think is-
time period where you're invincible when you have died is kind of short.
Yeah.
I would say they should have probably added a second or two more, because it becomes quite difficult when you have sort of like enemies all over the screen, and you're not really sure where you are. You can become kind of disoriented, and you respawn in some bad place, and then you die again. And that feels to me that feels sort of like a design flaw.
Yeah.
Even though you really have to have an excessive amount of playtesting before you can realize these shortcomings.
I like this design of this boss.
Yeah.
With the face huggers. And
Yeah, and the kind of pulsating organs
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's great.
And I felt this boss was kind of fair also. Like
Yeah, it wasn't super hard. It wasn't super easy. It was good. And I also really enjoy how like the heart starts pulsating more
faster.
intense when it's low on health.
I mean, it sounds like we're complaining a lot, but I actually kind of enjoyed it. It's a fun game.
It's a very fun game. But here on level 3 they kind of ramp up the difficulty.
Yeah. Now we're on level 3, and I should kind of say that there's quite a time gap here.
Yeah.
This level was...
This was murder.
Yeah.
I think we like played a couple of continues. I really didn't
least.
count. But
Maybe 10 or so.
yeah, but there's some areas in this level that are quite unfair. I mean, you can obviously you can learn
You start
it,
learning it.
but there's some place where you
Yeah, and here's like first thing: the slopes and shooting in slopes is really, really bad.
yeah,
The-
they have a different angle on the direction of the gun than you have on the direction of the slopes.
Yeah, and
So
it's
you
a
kind
lot
of-
different.
Yeah.
It's not like a small difference like
Yeah.
in Contra. Here it's like you have to jump and shoot to get an angle on the
Yeah,
enemies
or have
coming
the
up
spread
from the slope.
shots
Yeah.
to make up for the angle difference. But I think at this stage we were quite good at sort of syncing
Yeah.
or having the teamwork up.
Yeah, you have to cover each other and make sure both are kind of in the middle.
Kind of
the
in the middle of the screen, yeah, because enemies will constantly spawn behind you, like I said earlier. That's kind of different from how I remember Contra. I don't remember a lot of enemies spawning behind you. Like most of the opposition came from the front. And here we were like, yeah, finally at the boss.
Yeah.
And then it's just sort of a middle stage boss. But we were quite overpowered here, so we managed
Yeah.
beating it quite easily.
Yeah, we had a lot of firepower this
Now,
round.
when we have like both the machine gun and laser at the same time, you can just force your way through. But that was quite quite a cheap death. It makes me kind of upset that we had this good flow, and we thought we were just gonna beat the boss, and then we were kind of like thrown off psychologically, so we started having performance issues.
I messed up here
Yeah,
using this
yeah.
weapon.
And then there was this cave opening where the enemies just poured out.
And then it was
The actual
real
boss.
boss. And
We didn't even find out what it kind of did.
just made a drive-by and that's it.
Yeah. Okay, so what did you like about this game?
I like that it was kind of true to the Probotector or Contra games. And it was a good like local couch co-op game.
Yeah. It actually, I like the music. I like the kind of look of the game. There were kind of some shortcomings when it came to like the background, foreground separation, but it's cool.
Yeah, a bit unpolished here and there, but still good if like you need something to play.
And if you like the Contra games and you kind of crave more, if you have played all the games, this is it's quite cheap on Steam. So
yeah. Try it out.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it
Bye.
for this time. Bye.